Hello everyone! It's time for my February wrap-up. I really didn't want to film this, gonna be honest with you guys. There's been so much going on with my nephew's almost here wedding that's in April, and then it's just been really bad weather, and we've been going between no electricity and no internet on the days we do have electricity, so it's been a lot of things just in the way, and I haven't wanted to film this. But anyways, I didn't read a lot of books in February because of that. I read 8 books, but like I read manga and some graphic novels and stuff to like make ends meet so I could stay on track, which is good because March I'm planning on reading a bunch of thicker books, and the first one I've chosen to read is very slow paced, and I don't want to buy an audiobook for it just to finish it. I mean, it's good, it's just the pacing's slow. But getting on to the books I read in February, the first one is The Titan's Bride. This is a BL isekai manga. It has decent art. It has a very basic plot, very basic characters. I don't foresee this being a series where they develop either the world or the characters. So if you're looking for a book that's just basically sex, this is a good book to pick up. It's, especially if you like boys love. That's always a plus, I guess. I don't know if I'll continue this series. This was like a 2 stars for me, mainly because I was hoping for something that fleshed out the world and characters better, and that's not something. I think I'm really bad at picking out BL novels, because besides for like a small handful, a lot of the ones I pick up don't have a lot of fleshed out worlds or characters. So if you have any recommendations, leave them in the comments, because I'm always looking for a good BL novel or manga. Mostly manga, just because I like the cute fluffy pictures. I'm very simple when it comes to BL, I know, I'm sorry. The next series I read was Across the Universe by Beth Revis. I read all 3 books, I tabbed the heck out of all 3 books, and I love them so much. Across the Universe got a 4 stars, A Million Suns got 3 stars, and then Shades of Earth got 4 stars. I would say Across the Universe is more like a 4.5 stars, just because I did like it above the other 2. And this series follows our main character, Amy, who has been woken up / attempted to be murdered. I think it says 50 years before they were supposed to reach the planet, and this journey was supposed to take 300 years. Now, I'm not going to go into spoilers, because just talking about the timeline of when all this is taking place is kind of a massive spoiler. But I will say this world, for one thing, the mechanics of how this ship has been sustained for so long, past the point where it has, it's like when you think of a spaceship traveling for 300 years, not making any rest stops at other planets for resources or anything, because there are none that they can stop at for resources. My first thought was, how are they still sustaining themselves? How do they still have water? How do they still have, the air thing is easily rectified, but seriously, how has the water supply lasted this long? Actually, it goes into the population and everything, so yeah, the food makes more sense than you think. I also don't know how they're finding the materials to invent all of the stuff they're inventing, like the med patches or just the machinery in general. Like, I don't want to go into that because of spoilers, but I don't know how they continuously have the resources to make this stuff. Even if they reuse a lot of it after some of them have died, I don't know, some of the materials that it would take to make some of this stuff would have run out a long time before now. So I have quite a few questions that are never actually answered in this series, but at the same time, it didn't take my enjoyment away from reading the books at all. If anything, it was more like a background question where I was more or less trying to figure out how the person doing all the killing was doing it. And I'll say this, it's kind of obvious even without them actually having a police force and detectives and stuff figuring this stuff out. It was so obvious with the technology they have who was behind everything when they give you not the context clues, they're blatantly clues in your face. It's just making the connection. And a lot of people wouldn't make the connection, and I say when these books were published, it was something that people just completely looked over and went about reading for the enjoyment of it. Which I can see, these books are incredibly fast-paced. You can just fly through these and like miss the little details that they pack into there. So, highly recommend this book series. I don't want to go into it anymore just in case I spoil something. But yeah, these books, so good. Across the Universe, definitely my favorite read of the month. Thing I read, which I thought was going to be my favorite read of the month, is The Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. I didn't have a lot of problems with this book. I like the fact there was no romance in it, but the fact that Anna Dakkar is a descendant of Captain Nemo, when we were given the backstory of Captain Nemo, like, I haven't read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, so I'm guessing that everything in this is accurate, to that story at least, and it's just finangled so it works like decades down the line. It all falls together and makes sense into a coherent story, and I really wasn't left questioning anything, which is nice. The only actual pet peeve I had was the fact that Anna Dakkar has like a really bad period, like very painful, and yet she decides to go swimming like on like day 3 of her period, and it's like, I can't do that. No one I know can do that, because that would just make the cramps 100 times worse. And I was like, maybe it's not the same for all females. I mean, I'm going off a very limited group of females who like suffer through their periods, whether this is okay. So it may not be a problem for her. I still don't think she should go diving in waters that was mentioned to have a shark in it, but you know, to each their own, I suppose. Another little problem I had with this book is the fact that since it's a standalone, it was very obvious who was behind all the things that were happening, and I'm not talking about Land Institute, I'm talking about like the person behind what was happening. And also, oh, this is another pet peeve that I just remembered, and this is something I've had trouble with in a lot of books here recently, and it may just be because I hate lack of information. I like this book. Anna, whatever her name is, Anna isn't told anything about her family bloodline or the Nautilus or Captain Nemo, nothing, until it becomes a life or death situation. And I'm so sick and tired of this happening. This is no business of the schools even. This is mainly the parents' fault. The school is at fault too, because they should have been informing her once her parents died. But the point of the matter is, her parents kept this from her because she was a female, but they kept it from her brother for no good reason at all. So neither one of these kids knew about anything until the brother started learning this stuff at the school, and the daughter learned it after everyone in the school had been, you know, kind of slaughtered. You have to give people time to process. You can't just throw them into a dangerous situation, give them all this information, and then give them no time for them to process the information, let alone use it to make more well-informed decisions. And also, did they ever think that she may be lost, like the brother might die the way the parents did, or the fact that the daughter may be the only one left and they have to like she could be like the ace in the hole, if they even wanted to put it that way, or I forgot what it's called, but I don't know, it pissed me off that lack of information is what leads to a lot of problems in young adult middle grade books, and there's no reason for it. It's information that, yeah, you wanna keep from them to protect them. There was no reason to keep this information from them for protection. None at all. If anything, it would have protected them more if they had known the information. I gotta stop talking about it. I'm getting really fired up and my blood pressure just doesn't need to be that high. Next, I read The Madman's Daughter by Megan Shepherd, and this was a train wreck. I read the first few chapters are fine. As soon as Montgomery is introduced, this just becomes horny on Maine. This book could have been 150 to 200 pages shorter if you had cut out all of the unnecessary romance that was in the book. All the unnecessary romance, all of the unnecessary, oh, I'm showing my ankle, I'm so improper. And it's like, I don't know what time period this is set in because it doesn't tell us. So I can only assume that it's like anywhere between the 1600s and 1800s. I don't honestly know. And to be completely honest, as soon as it started getting into talking about how handsome people the opposite gender were, I didn't care. Because it's like, okay, you feel exposed for showing an ankle, but your thoughts are going down a very slippery slope right now. I don't think the ankle matters. I think you need to check what's in your head right now. Also, the daughter is way too curious for her own good, and not in a good way. Being curious about her father is fine. Being curious about his works, in the context that she is being curious, is very... It tells a lot for her mental stability, let's put it that way. I'm not continuing this series. This was horrible. I wanted to DNF it after the first, 50-some pages, whatever the first few chapters are. It just wasn't good. And I give it a 1 star. I finished it. 420 pages of really just bullcrap that could have been so much shorter. And the fact of the matter is, there was countless people being murdered. At one point, it told us that she knew that there was someone that had died, but we were actually never told that anyone had died. I went back. Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. I went back and I was like, did I just read over that? Did they actually tell us someone had died and I just missed it? No. They just throw that out into the world that she knew someone had died, but we didn't know someone had died, even though we're in her perspective. And that wasn't fun. Also, the fact that I think about 10 to 15 other people die, and we absolutely get no details or resolve to that. And it's like, well, we get resolved at the end. It was sloppily done, because if you have someone or something going around and murdering people, the main drive of the story should be that. That should be the most important thing, figuring out what's going on, who's doing it, and how you can fix the problem. Not, who do I find more attractive? I just couldn't. And the sad thing is, I had the whole trilogy, so now I'm donating them to the library or something. I don't want them on my shelf. And it's so sad because I was so looking forward to this. It was, I think, pitched as like a Frankenstein retelling, or one of the books was, and I see the Frankenstein elements, but this book just did not do anything for me. These books, all 3 of them, probably could have been condensed into one big book, and you wouldn't know the difference. Actually, you would. All the romance would have been taken out of it. Okay, last up, I read Teen Titans Raven, Beast Boy, and Beast Boy Loves Raven by Kami Garcia and Gabriel Piccolo. I don't know if this is his actual name or not. These are hardcover, which I didn't know when I got the box set, and I honestly wish I had just gotten these from the library or something, because I don't foresee myself ever rereading these. Technically, I got these for Christmas. I wouldn't have put them on my list if I had known this is the way they were. The art style's fine. I don't mind it. It's just, I felt like the pacing of the book and the story itself was just very bland and slow, while at the same time being too fast for romances to be developing in these spans of time. I also don't... I kind of see how they got away with the Raven one because of the amnesia aspect of it, but when it came to her actually remembering stuff, I feel like there should have been more there. I felt like we should have got more resolve for things, like her actual parents, her foster parents, and then the new family she's in, but instead, we're basically just left with, this stuff is happening, now we have to fix the problem, so all of the actual character development that she was before the amnesia, just forget about it, and we're going to move on from there. And I didn't like that. And Beast Boy was a little different. I don't know. It's very true to Beast Boy's character when I sit and think about it. So, in a way, Beast Boy was my favorite. And I kind of show that in the rating, because Raven got 2 stars, Beast Boy got 3 stars, and Beast Boy Loves Raven got 2 stars, because honestly, they needed to develop their relationship better than what they did. Instead, they set up this side relationship that's going to be happening in the 4th book that they have of this, which is going to be about Robin, or Damian Wayne, who is Robin number 3 or 4. I honestly can't remember. It's been a long time since I've watched anything Batman or read anything Batman. But I'm interested in that. I'll probably get it from my library, though, because I'm not going to waste the money on that. If I like it, I will end up purchasing it. So these are all the books that I read in February. Like I said, I have a lot of books that I plan on reading in March, and I really hope that, you know, regardless of whether I read all of them or not, I just hope that I can make myself make a video and edit and upload it and actually, you know, take the time to do all this. Because honestly, this wrap up I have filmed 3 times, because I got interrupted the first time, the second time I hated it, And this third time, I'm not doing it again. So I'm sorry if this was like all over the place and hectic. I am this making videos really stresses me because I feel like I talk too much, or I make little noises or clear my throat too much. And if I sound a little gravelly, that's because I'm trying not to clear my throat, because I have a throat condition to where it's really bad if I don't do that, because then I sound like this. I sound like I'm really sick. So sorry about that. I'm trying to make the editing process just a little bit easier on myself. That way I do want to make a video for March. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you've been reading in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!